who did the knocking out. Trayvon Walton upsetting Angel.
Boxing Ego Quick Hits.
Ego?
Ego, E-G-O, Boxing Ego.
Boxing BOXINGEGO.com.
Did you spell it?
She spelled that shit.
I'm gonna knock David Benavidez out cold and establish myself as the next superstar in boxing. This is the harsh warning from David Morrell Jr. regarding David Benavidez. A battle of the Davids. That's what I'll talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more Boxing Ego Quick Hits, where I give you guys the news in less time, less filler, less intro. Let's get it. So David Morrell said what I just said at the beginning. I'm going to knock him out, talking about Benavidez. I'm going to knock Benavidez out cold and establish myself as the next superstar in boxing. I am watching David Benavidez versus David Lemieux. Now it's 3. We're up to 3 Davids. I am watching David Benavidez and him fight David Lemieux, says David Morrell. And I'll watch it carefully this weekend on Showtime because I want the winner. I feel I am the best fighter in the division. It is clear that no one wants to fight with me. So I have to call people out because I am so heavily avoided. I'm putting a target on David Benavidez's back, and I'm aiming to take him out. Wow. Now, David Benavidez is a top tier super middleweight. I think Canelo Alvarez should have taken the fight with David Benavidez. David Benavidez is young, been calling him out, and it would have done a crazy crowd, a rabid crowd, and I just think it would have been a bigger fight. But instead, Canelo chose to fight on the app. I got more videos coming on that, and lose to someone who spars with David Benavidez with a lesser American profile, and that's Dmitry Bivol. Congratulations to Dmitry Bivol. Now, as far as the Cuban southpaw, David Morrell Jr., he's talking spicy, y'all, and he's calling out David Benavidez. His record, he's 6-0, and he got 5 knockouts. If you guys watch my channel, I've told you for a while that I've been checking for David Morrell Jr., and I knew about him well before a lot of people were talking about him, and that's what my channel is for. So if you guys like that, subscribe for content. In the last 30 days, 50% of the people that watch my content for free subscribed. The other 50% did not. You can change that right now. If you like boxing news, this is your one-stop shop. Hit the subscribe button. Shout out to everybody who also sent a super thanks. It's the heart sign with the $1 in it. Those are additional ways to help the channel continue to grow. David Morrell Jr., he's talking spicy, and now he's calling out David Benavidez as well. So I like it because boxing is like steroids. It works in cycles. That's a bar. Boxing works in these cycles where you have certain fighters, and on their way up, they can't seem to get the top fights. Like, look at the welterweight division. At one point, Keith Thurman was calling out everyone couldn't get the fights, and then a little bit after Keith Thurman was making a name for himself, people knew who he was, you had Errol Spence coming up. And Errol Spence was the one calling out Keith Thurman, the Danny Garcias, the Sean Porters, the K.O. Brooks. And he's like, Straps, he's a man down. Fast forward to the future, we're in a new cycle where you have Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, and they're the 1A, 1B of the welterweight division. But now you got the youngin, Jerome Boots Ennis, and he's chomping at the bit to get a big name, a Thurman, a Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, or whoever. And that's kind of the same thing with David Benavidez. David Benavidez, super middleweight, he been calling out everyone. He wanted to fight Caleb Plant, Canelo. He wanted to fight whoever was available, you know, and these big names. And he hasn't been able to really get them. But now coming up behind him is somebody who's even younger calling him out. So things are going to start heating up for sure. Also, it must be noted that Demetrius Andrade is on his contractual last fight with Eddie Hearns. And Eddie Hearn already said that he doesn't believe that Demetrius Andrade will stick around and stay with him. I mean, why would he, after all, since Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade hasn't been able to get any good or big fights with Eddie Hearn. You know, he might have got some pays and paychecks and stuff, but nothing to really bolster his resume. So I really like that because I think Andrade still is a quality fighter and operator. He said he's moving up to 168 as well. So if he remains undefeated and possibly signs with PBC, there we go. Maybe we can get, I know David Benavidez has talked about fighting Andrade. So you got that angle. And then you got David Morrell Jr. I mean, that's like three. That will reinvigorate the super middleweight division, having those three fighters, the 3Ds, Demetrius Andrade, David Benavidez, and David Morrell. Let me know how I did in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you like the content. I'll be back with some more heat. And the future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.